this is Paul Gough. Welcome to the Paul Gough podcast and audio experience. We are ready for another incredible episode. I seem to say this all the time, but today's is a very, very, very special episode and a guest all the way from Washington State. We're going to talk to the amazing Allison Feldt in just a moment. Before we do that, remember, if you like and subscribe to the channel, you can get a copy of any one of my free books. Head over to paulgough.com/free. All we ask is that you like and that you subscribe, and we will send you a free copy of any one of my best-selling books directly to your clinic. Come and join the community. We'll send you a free book, and we'll help you on your way to building a very, very successful business, which is what this podcast is all about. And every one of the guests that we bring on, the Paul Meets section, is all about bringing to you an inspiring story or person from the global physical therapy community. And today is no different. I have known this lady since round about 2018. 2017. Time flies. And Allison Feldt arrived in my world 2017 looking for some help learning how to sell, which I still to this day can't believe that she needed any help to sell, having known this lady for quite some time. She's amazing at what she does and has built one of the best, most successful PT clinics that I've witnessed anywhere in America, and is now inspiring the careers of many, many pelvic floor PTs around the world. So Allison, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I've given everybody my view of your story. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the story as you see it?
Yeah. So I started my business in 2017, just had my second kid. I had no option to go back to work. That wasn't going to pay for daycare for 2 kids. And I needed something that was going to work for me. So I took a side job to pay the bills a little bit. And about 2 weeks after my son was born, I launched my own business, Body Motion Physical Therapy, in Edmonds, Washington. I didn't even know it was going to be a pelvic floor clinic. I called it Body Motion because I thought it would actually be a sports performance hockey training clinic.
That's interesting.
That's where I was going to take this. And I wanted to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of pelvic floor, a little bit of hockey training. And then I realized you can't just open a business and people come to it. You have to learn how to get clients and get customers. And I thought because I had so many clients that loved me from my previous job that they would want me back and want to pay for me to come to them. So it was a concierge business, and I would go to people's houses and do physical therapy, the very initial adopters, but that wasn't enough to pay the bills. That wasn't enough. I even tried to get insurance, like go into the insurance companies, and they wouldn't let me in originally. Best gift to the whole world, because then I met you, found the accelerator program, borrowed $5,000 from my dad, didn't have the money, or however much it cost at the time, and took the course. Immediately, my thought process changed. I could honestly help people better the minute I took that course because I could speak their language. I could resonate with them. So they were getting better faster. I had more clients. I niched down into my target market of women's health, and that's always been a passion, but to really lean into that and be able to go that route has just changed my life and so many people's lives around us. So I started as this concierge business in your accelerator program, have worked my way through all of your programs. It's so long ago that it's hard to even recall. Joined CEO the year after you launched it and have been in it ever since. And now I think we have a team of, what'd you say, 17 I have? 17 employees today? Yeah, so it's growing fast, and it has grown fast over the last 8 years. And it would not have been possible if I didn't have that mentorship from you.
So let's see if we can unpack all of this.
Yeah.
Right, we're a couple of $1 million revenue business today, right? 7-8 years on. I'm going to take you all the way back to the start. We've got 17 staff. We've got $2 million in revenue. You've got big hopes, big dreams, big aspirations now. We're talking about licensing and franchising and what's next for Allison. We've spent the whole day doing that. But I suspect there was a time where none of that, or it might not have been as clear as it is today as you go back to, let's say, 2017. What was it like? Let's go back to that first sort of $100,000, $200,000 in revenue that you're trying to make. What was life like for you back then, just emotionally, psychologically? What were you thinking? Just try and help somebody who's in that phase right now understand that you've been there and that there is a step to kind of bridge and go to next.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me back. I was stressed. It was stressful. I wanted to be able to take my family on vacation. I had secretly wanted to have another kid, and I was a soulpreneur and had to figure out, okay, like if I'm going to really go and have another kid, how can I make sure that the business can still support my family as I go do this? And so it was it was a little bit of stress, a little bit of hard work, and really having the guidance of how to build a team. First you learn the marketing, then you learn the sales, then you have, a sales, like you don't have enough places to put the people. And so you go hire your team and figure out how to really truly build a team. And a lot of those initial employees are somehow still with me today. And so it was, I guess it was a stressful experience, but yeah, guide me more on.
I think the reason that they're with you today is a testament to your leadership, to your authenticity, to your energy, to your creativity, to your just your honesty and your decency. Like, people buy into all of those things and they want to hang around with you. That's why they're still with you. But the question I've got for you, Allison, you've got 2 kids and you're trying to grow a business and you want another kid. Like, that's not supposed to happen, is it not? Aren't you supposed to just accept what you've got, like live happily ever after and just, get on with life and be miserable like everybody else and accept what you've got? Like, what was different about you that you wanted to do? You wanted everything. You wanted the successful business. You wanted the bigger family. Like, where did you get that from?
I grew up in a family of 3, so I had always wanted to have 3 kids at least, maybe 4. And so it was a secret goal. It was, not something I was going to announce or anything like that. It was more so just, it gave me that a little bit of like, can I get this to that level? Can I prove to myself that I can get this business to, to be able to sustain without me? And and it happened.
Did you get any, and forgive me for probing, was there any sort of guilt around it? Was there any people having little whispers of just stay at home, just, you don't need to go build the business thing and just accept what you've got? Like, was there a guilt thing? Is that why you kept it to yourself? Like, you didn't want to publicly share it because somebody might have shooted you down, or was there any of that going on?
Dylan wasn't fully in agreement. So my husband was not fully in agreement with that 3rd kid. And all along the way, I will say, even my parents were like, you can't step out of it. Like, you are the business. Like, people are only there to see you. Like, but even before that, it was like, you can't charge people cash for physical therapy. Like, they're going to use their insurance. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, you're too good. No one else will be as good as you. You can't go and hire this. You can't go teach other people to do this. And so all those voices, you have voices in your head all along the way. And I think that speaks to why it's so important to see other people doing what you may not know is possible. And that's why it's important to be in communities like yours.
I think you obviously have a power and a superpower to shut that down, because if you watch people as you observe, and even after I've said this and people listening or watching can pick up on this, as you go out into the world, people are faster to tell you what they lack than they are to propose a solution to get whatever it is that they've got. And if you're not careful, you get to a certain age, mid-30s, usually people are set and they've come to the conclusion that their life is what they've got because that's all that's possible. There's no way that they could have built something bigger or better or had more quality of life or more choices in life, because if they could, it would have happened to them already. And it's something that I learned very early in sales. One of the things that somebody taught me was, be careful when you talk to people, because the customer, all they're going to do is tell you what they don't have. And if you believe them, what essentially they're trying to do, they've got all this negative energy, right? They've got all this negative pent-up energy in them. And the easiest way to get rid of it is to give it to somebody else. So if I tell you, if you start to say to me, hey, Paul, I've got this course and it's going to help you grow the business and it's going to help you make more money, your visual reaction is quite like almost nervous system heightened. And I don't like that, because it's risky. And yeah, I kind of believe you, Allison, and that's kind of what I want, but I just don't know. So I don't feel good about myself. So I want to give that to you. And the way that I give it to you is by telling you what I lack. And everything that I say about what I lack calms my nervous system down. So what I did was offloaded all of the things that I lack. So I now feel better. And because I feel better, here's the kicker. Are you ready? I come to the conclusion that not buying that thing was actually the right decision because I feel better. Does that make sense? So I offload it onto you. Now, some sucker takes it, is what I'm saying. So if you've got a friend, when you sit in a coffee shop and you say, hey, I'm worried about growing my business, and I just haven't got the money and I haven't got the time, and what will everybody say? Your friend goes, oh, Allison, yes. Like, I agree. Like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. So now you feel good for a few moments and you convince yourself that actually this must have been a good idea not to grow the business because you feel better for that moment. I was taught very early that if a client give me that, my job was to send it right back. So even in the physical, all of that might be true, that we don't have the money, we don't have the time, we don't have this, we don't have the other, but you've still got back pain. What do you want to do? Unbelievable difference to the quality of my life when I started to reject somebody else's stuff, right? And when I see it in life now, I see friends, I see family constantly talking about what they lack, and I just refuse to take it. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? And they're like, well, I'm pouring my heart at you, Paul. Like, will you accept some of this shit? I'm like, nope. Right back at you, because you have to learn to accept and deal with that, what you lack, not give it to somebody else. We have to face up to what we lack. So it's a cool strategy, and you find that with business owners who, certainly my early strategy, I didn't talk to anybody about it. Like in my head, it's like what you've said. It was, I was moving to America. I was building this business. Did I tell anybody? Nobody. Like, not even Natalie. I remember coming in going, we're moving. It's like, what? Like, yeah, like, how long? I was like, well, I've been planning it for 2 or 3 years in my head. So it was perfectly normal. And I think that's a trait of a really successful entrepreneur. They don't really share it with anybody because they don't want to hand the lack, if you like, to somebody who's not as, not necessarily maybe like somebody like me who would just go, that's all fair and well, Allison, but we still can't have that kid if we don't figure this out, or we can't do this if we don't figure that out. So there's no real growth there. So what inflection points do you think you've been through in your journey? How's Allison evolved? Tell me a little about that. I always try to understand the personality, the person behind the success. Where were the inflection points for you? What needed to change, or what points on your journey to get to where you are today? Have you seen Allison shift? She's had to change her identity, or she's had to become a different leader, a different mother, a different wife? Like, talk to me about some of those situations in your life.
That was a large question.
Where have you shifted? Where have you jumped?
I think right at that, I'm going to throw out a number, maybe at the $200,000 to $400,000 revenue. You're seeing enough patients to pay the bills, but you still have that underlying stress. You just don't know where it's coming from. That's when I really had to start working on myself. And I think the minute I started really putting the work into myself, so had the business coaching, had all that, and it was so powerful. And also, if I wasn't starting to like go in here and fix, maybe old stories and heal, things from my past, I couldn't have kept up with the level of growth that I wanted to attain. So I think that had to happen at that level. And that's when I started doing counseling. That's when I, started working with different people.
What did you discover? What was in your past?
Whoa.
All meets. I need to meet the real Allison. This superstar that we see today.
Yeah.
I need to meet the real Allison.
I mean, my parents.
You don't have to go too deep.
Yeah, my parents got divorced. I had an eating disorder as a kid. Like, there was a lot of different
shit.
A lot of this shit. But we all have these little micro traumas. Some of us have macro traumas. And it's all about how we decide to process them and, decide that we're going to heal them and move past them. And I think when you start to acknowledge those, it helps you move in a different direction. And also just generating actually gratitude for all of those experiences that we've gone through has, I think, shifted so much for me. So that was really my first inflection point. And that was where I was like, that allowed me to go large in the marketing game. Because if I was scared to be seen. I was really scared to be seen, I think, in the beginning. And it was like, what will those people from high school think about me? And what will, first off, you'll be freaking lucky if someone from your high school sees your ads, right? Like, it's like, that's fantastic, right? Like, that's the level of marketing you want to play at. That's where you want to be. But if you're not able to be comfortable in yourself, then I think that is where, it's like, go work on that first. Because if you don't want to be seen and you want to make money and you want to have a business and you want to help people, but you're scared of being seen in the community, like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, there's unless you maybe killed someone and you don't want someone to find out, even if, right? It's like, just go figure out your own shit that's holding you back, that's making you play small. So I think that was my first thing. It was like, okay, deal with my past stuff so it could kind of clear up anything that I felt weird about in myself that allowed me to unleash who I could become and really spread the message of what the business had evolved to.
Yeah.
And then I think the next inflection point was definitely, I had Jayla, my third child, and it allowed me to really, that's when I truly stepped out of the clinic. So in 2021, it was like, oh, everyone else can take over. Things can run without me. It was my first lesson of, okay, I don't actually need to be the one. I don't need to be the girl to be able to deliver the outcomes. I don't need to drive I still drive the marketing and the content, but it was like I had, at least hired a team that could manage most of it. And so that was a huge transition point for me. And yes, there was guilt alongside of that because it was like I wasn't abandoning the clients, but it was a little bit like, well, what's Allison doing with her time?
Mm-hmm.
What's Allison doing out of here? And so there is that level of being comfortable with that. And so that's really where my next, I think, transformation happened. I was sitting in one of the CEO meetings. I think it was in 2022. I had already known that I needed my life, my exterior image. I had wanted to be healthier. I had wanted everything to change for me. And I was sitting in one of our meetings, in one of our CEO roundtable meetings, and you were talking about really becoming famous. And do other people want to be like you? Are you the epitome of change that you want to see for your clients? And I wasn't. I wasn't feeling good in my own skin. I had been trying to, lose weight, the baby weight. I had been trying to be healthy, but I still had all these stressors and I just didn't have a great balance. And, now I have 3 kids. So I had to continue to move the business forward with that. And so that's again, I think that's where I decided, okay, I'm changing my identity. I'm totally flipping who I am. And I'm going to come back next year and this is going to be a completely different picture. And that's helped. And I think it's okay. And we should always be looking to change our identities because that just allows us to play at different playing fields and continue to evolve and grow and find out more about yourselves and then push to the next level.
I think everything you just said is, you track it all the way back to the trauma and the growing up as a kid. And I think every one of us has got a story. There isn't anybody that I meet that isn't super successful that hasn't got a story. And it isn't really about the story. It's how well can we cope with the consequence, let's call it, of the story. And then in the end, how well do we understand it and accept it and acknowledge it? Those are the things for me that have made the difference, that whether it's a perceived lack of love or a parent who didn't do this or didn't do that, it's a big thing. It's a big thing for us all. And it does cause us to question whether we're loved or lovable and whether or not people are going to appreciate us or accept us for who we are. Because if potentially your parents didn't give you that and you wanted some of that, we all crave it and you didn't get it. It does throw up issues. You put a newspaper ad up and your picture's in, it's like, oh, what are people going to say? Who's this guy? Who does he think he is? Even his dad doesn't love him, or it brings back all of these things. But I remember the day that the personal journey started, and it was into business to start with. And when I got into business and learning about marketing and sales, inevitably it pushed me forward, but it sparked a level of interest in me and sort of ambition, which I see in you, where I want a better quality of life. And that became the driving force. And then what had to catch up always was my skills. And I had to figure out some shit in the past. And that in and of itself is figuring out your own stuff is a skill. And then learning marketing is a skill. Learning sales is a skill. Recruitment is a skill. And every time I figured out these skill sets, the ambition that I have was growing, and it is still to this day growing. but I always have to make sure that the skills that I'm developing underneath me are capable of taking me towards the ambition that I've got. But the identity piece is massive. The identity of I was a physio to start with. I wanted to be a good physio. I'm sure like you, it was I want to be the best in town and I want everybody to come and see me. Well, great. How is that gonna help you? Cool. I got a full caseload. Now what's the new identity? A marketer. Oh, that's interesting. Right. I've got a marketing skill, a marketing identity in me now. I got to get my message out there. I've got to be on camera. I've got to write a book. I've got to do all of the things that a marketer needs to do. Well, great. If I want to keep moving my ambition or realizing my ambition, what's the next thing? I need to be a team builder. So now I got to figure out how I'm a team builder. Because if I'm a good marketer, as we've discussed today, there's many people who are good marketers whose careers stop. But the ones who really nail it, team builders. Cool, now I can build a team in England, I can build one in America, I can build a physio business team, I can build a property development business team, I can build a marketing agency team, an AI team. So the potential that I have essentially is tied to the identity that I've got. But then the ultimate identity is the learner. The learner. If I approach it, this was the one that I think changed my life, because financially becoming a marketer helped me building a team, and becoming a team builder financially helped me, and it changed the circumstances and the choices in my life, undoubtedly. But changing my identity to be a learner, I'm not gonna say eradicated it from my life, but it allows me to live with significantly less frustration, because I approach every situation with, we learned something about that. And so when something goes wrong in a marketing campaign, now I go all the way back to, different parts of my life. I go back to a marketing campaign that doesn't work. Cool. Everybody else is going nuts and we've wasted $2,000. I'm going, no, we've learned something. And we hire somebody that doesn't work out and it's like, oh, this is not ideal. I'm going, cool. What have we learned? What do we know now that we didn't? What does the job ad need to look like? When I come to a problem with a client, oh, this client didn't like this. Cool. What can we learn? Everybody calm down. Like, that's been the biggest shift for me. And the marketing was undoubtedly the first bump in income. The team building was the ability to expand across countries and the organization and an empire, whatever you want to call it. But the ultimate one that made the biggest improvement in my quality of life was switching to educator, a learner, somebody that was on a lifelong journey to be educated. And therefore, it's very hard for me to get frustrated, because every situation I get
100%.
I get to learn from something. So what's happening next? Where are we headed with your business? We've got 17 staff. We've got a wonderfully profitable business. I suspect I don't know, you might have had these dreams, but I suspect you've probably done better at this point than you thought you might have done when you first started the business. What's next? How do you keep pushing on? How do you keep your drive?
Yeah. Well, when I realized that my fulfillment really comes from continuing to grow and continuing to learn, like you spoke to, then that's my only job. It was like, continue to learn, continue to grow. And with that growth, whether it be business or personal, that's where my fulfillment comes from. I get a lot of fulfillment from the business side of the business growth side of it. And so that's where we're aiming. I mean, we talked today about really focusing on building out another way to help our clients that maybe weren't able to be helped before. So that I think is a great key for a lock that maybe we didn't turn yet. It shows
you even at $2 million, there's opportunities inside of a business everywhere you look.
Yeah.
And often we just get so fixed on this is what we're doing, which is great,
right? Which
is good, and you need that. But equally, we have to be open to that there is other avenues that we can't. With the blind spot, it's the point of coaching and masterminding.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go work on that lever. I'm also excited to go and add a whole nother layer of like the prosperity and wellness to the business, because I think that is, we're all looking for that. We're spending money on that.
Yeah.
I think you said the average American right now is spending $6,000 a year on their wellness. And so, which makes total sense, because if you're not spending on your wellness, you are going to spend on your sickness, right? So makes complete and utter sense. And so that's where the focus of the business will be for the next year, just continuing to get the word out onto every single media platform that we're on.
Well, I think what you've done, just to bring everybody in who's watching and listening, I think the right thing to do is build the initial healthcare traditional PT business where you bring people in, whether it's from doctors, whether it's from Facebook or Google, and you establish your authority, your identity, your clinic, your culture, your team, your people. That's who you are. You're a PT clinic. But then there's an inevitability to, as the business evolves, you run out of people that want to spend money on healthcare, right? That want to come and see you. And the evolution of our businesses is that actually the last million could be the most profitable because of the nature of the things that we can offer the client who came in with a bad back or a sciatica problem, who now wants to be feeling fantastic in their 60s instead of feeling 80 in their 60s. So I think the track that you're taking is the new one that you're going to see more and more clinic owners go down. As we've discussed today, unfortunately, we are in the lowest paying, hardest to build a business. Dan Kennedy would call it the third world citizens or third class citizens in healthcare. Everybody gets paid more, right? And these are harsh realities, and again, people might not like it, but I always like to say, look, this is the facts. This is where we're at now. Once we've got the facts, like we can make changes now, rather than living in cuckoo land. Chiropractors make more money, dentists make more money, doctors definitely make more money. Physical therapy is a grudge purchase, and that's the bit that most people are struggling with if they're starting their clinics in the last year or two. You're trying to get people into your business who just don't want to give you $2,000. But ironically, you set up an oxygen chamber and a shockwave and a red light and a compression lounge or whatever it'll be, and it's like, can I give you a monthly membership for this type of thing? And you're thinking, how long is it before PTs are going to cotton on to the idea that actually a hybrid isn't insurance or cash? A hybrid is healthcare, as in PT, and wellness. Here's a question, I'll put this on the spot to you. How do you think your team will take to this?
They're already doing it all themselves, so they just need the okay to deliver it to the clients. So I think there's no doubt, and I'm grateful that we've always had a strong mission. So they're bought into me. Yes. They 100% have always been what they are on the train, And when someone starts to feel like we're not aligned anymore, they've let themselves off the bus, or vice versa. We've let them off the bus. And so I think it won't be. It's not even a conversation. It's just a how do we execute it?
So I'll reverse this. There's people watching this on these cameras who are going, Paul, this is all great. I love the idea of a wellness facility and us selling shockwave and rehab. But there's a business owner watching in this camera right now who is thinking privately, I can't get my team to buy into this. What do you think that means?
I think that means that time to rebuild the team, right? But if you don't know even yourself what your own mission and your vision is and your impact on your community, then how can you sell that to build a team? Because at the end of the day, if you think you're just a physical therapist and you're just doing healthcare and you're just, if you're in the just business, like you probably barely have a business, right? And so there's a whole...
Unless your name is Justin.
Yeah. There's a whole...
In which case, that's all right.
Yeah. The reality is, like, you have to have a mission. You have to have a reason. Yeah. Why did you get into this in the first place? And if you can get back to that and you can start to verbalize that and accept that and then communicate that, then people want to get behind that. If they don't, then, like, if you don't have that cut out, I think that's the first step. So
Allison, I've got all this childhood trauma. I can't lead like that.
Yeah.
That's it all goes back to this, right?
Right. So then go back and work on that. Because if you have skeletons in the closet, they will continue to come out and they will hold you back at every single step of the way.
I love it. And I think you, as you listen or watch to this show, have just been given absolute gold. The opportunities for us as business owners, regardless of whether or not we're third-class citizens in healthcare, regardless of whether we are the lowest paid by insurance, regardless of whether or not we're a grudge purchase, it is still possible to be successful in this business, right? Yourself and hundreds and however many thousands of people are smashing it right now running PT clinics, but it's because they're bravely standing behind their mission in a world today where it's very difficult to speak am I even allowed to say your truth, right? Whatever that shit is these days. But your belief, your values, your reason for starting the business in the first place. It's very, very difficult now for business owners to live that place, because you put your mission up to be about one thing, and somebody says, hey, but that doesn't include me if that's about that group of people. It's like, well, we can't really dilute the mission for the sake of trying to please everybody. Like nobody benefits from that. And I think what you're finding is a lot of business owners, particularly when they get to 7 to 10 staff, all of the good ideas that they could execute very, very early in their business, they were fast and they were easy, and they'd come to an event and they'd get it across. All of a sudden there's 15 or 16, 17 opinions in that team, and it's difficult to get things, price rises, packages, plans of care, whatever it is, through the business, because the staff just don't want to buy into it. And I agree 100% with what you're saying. The reason is the business owner either is not clear on what the mission is, and as I've said to you today, the only way that you're successful in business, really successful, is when there's an absolute devotion to the customer. Not the product, not the service, not the package, not the name, not using ChatGPT to come up with 65 different cool names for your new membership program. It's complete and utter devotion about that business and who it serves. And when you get that, you realize that you've got a patient here who starts with one outlook on life, a problem with pelvic floor, or a problem with whatever, back pain, but really the journey that they want to go on is one to a better quality of life. And in the end, that's what we do. And if I can't push that down to you, I can't push that down to my staff. The staff either need to leave, or I need to do a very, very good job of standing on the box every single Monday and talking to my team about, this is what we stand for, this is what our clients want, I know best, right? And that's the idea. And it's hard for business owners to accept, but you, and this is what your star quality is, you know best. Right, and you're willing to put yourself into that situation where the staff might push back, but the business owner knows best. They've studied their client, they've studied the customer inside and out. They understand marketing, they understand sales, they understand how it works. They know their client better than anybody, and they should rightly voice that and push that down, that this is the journey that we're going on. So, what have you learned from today? What have you learned about yourself? We spent the whole day together. This will put you on the spot as well. Biggest inflection points about yourself today?
I think the biggest reminder is that we're building the Allison Media business.
Yes.
And
Can we talk about that? Bring us back into that question that you asked me this morning.
Yeah. Sometimes I get confused on where my content, like what, we have the podcast, we have the YouTube, we have the TikTok, the media, the social media. And it's like, who are we targeting? There's so many, at a $2 million business, there are so many things being sold. There are so many funnels. There are so many marketing campaigns. It's organization, and it's complete and utter chaos in the same realm. And so when I don't have clarity myself, it's hard to know exactly where my content needs to live and what it needs to be. And as I've continued to evolve as a business owner, as a woman, as a mom, as a pelvic floor physical therapist, my message, the true and tried message of the clinic, that stays the same. But my continued message to my audience and the language, that shifts. As I continue to evolve, everything shifts. And as I continue to, feed messages to my wellness clients and all that kind of stuff, I shift, I evolve, and I share what I learn. And so today it was very validating to be like, just keep doing that. Just whatever it is, wherever the content is going, then we're going to go with that. And we're building Allison. Even though the Body Motion is the entity, that is where we print cash. The brand of Allison is the investment.
Yeah.
And will continue to be. And it's okay if not all the content is pregnancy related or fertility related or wellness related. It can all thread together. And I think that is a piece that I needed to hear today.
Well, there's the temptation of, I think if you remember the conversation, when something like, how do you know what business to work on? Well, we've got the marketing business, we've got the coaching business, we've got the AI business, we've got a physio business, I've got a property business. Paul, how do you know how to spend your time? And it's like, I don't. I work on the Paul business, right? That's why I'm technically in the Paul business. I'm in the Paul business And then I've got people who look after the other businesses, right? And the thing that supersedes everything is the Paul business. Without the Paul business, the message, the values, the beliefs, the energy, whatever it is that I'm people like or want more of, or whatever it is. Without that, it's very difficult to grow everything else, because that ultimately in the end, that's what people are buying. They're buying the business owner's personality, views, belief systems, energy, charisma. Like, that's the game that we're all in. And it was a lesson I got very, very early that I shared with you from Dad. Not only did he talk to me about creating whatever business you're in, you're always in the Paul business. And essentially you can take a product like physiotherapy and 6 clicks could be in town. But what I tried to do was make sure that how the customer experienced physiotherapy was unique to Paul. And that's what separated me from anybody else. When it came to running an event and a seminar, you come to PPM, it ain't anything like, legitimately isn't like any other. And I can say that hand on heart. Everybody says, oh, we're different, our conference is like in anybody in the PT profession doing anything like what my conference is like next month and has been for the last 3 or 4 years, with the nature of it, quite simply because it's my personality embedded everywhere. From the music to the characters to the theming to the costumes to the parties to the alcohol to the celebrity guests that I choose because I like them and want to talk to them and have a picture with them. Everything is Paul embedded across that weekend. And I just invite people to come and be part of that. And that's what they seem to like. And that's what I did in the physio. But the best bit, and I'll extend it to you, and I think I said it today, essentially what you're creating is Allison's world. Once you get so confident in who you are, what you're about, what you're doing, it isn't just going to be felt in your business, it's your world. And people want to come into your world when there's a little bit of creativity. Like, again, let's face it, right? Everything's bland, it's boring. There's very little thought going into it. People are consumed by shit and childhood trauma and Facebook and Trump and Biden and whatever else is going on. Like, there isn't any room for creativity. So they're arriving at their own clinics with boring, mundane fucking treatment rooms, skeletons in the corner from 1892 bought off eBay, pictures of the skeleton from like 1993 that are freaking balling off at the corners, and that's their version of a clinic, and they wonder why they can't charge however much money. There isn't an ounce of creativity of their own world, and that's why people come into their world and then leave their world very, very quickly, employees and customers. Some of them wouldn't come back if you paid them to come back. It's that bad to go into that environment, but they think they're doing a good job, and to a degree they are. And this is the bit that always it frustrates me, but it pains me at the same time. They're actually really good at what they do. From this shit that they do, the hands-on stuff or the treatment, the clinical side of it, and they give a nice little hug, or the receptionist, hello, nice to see you again. But that's it. It stops at that point. And I think, and I watch anybody like yourself who's smashing it. You've got that belief, you've got that confidence, you've got to win, you learn your business skills, you realize you needed to know marketing or sales, then you learn team, then you learn strategic thinking, and on and on and on this journey goes. And at the heart of it is your unique thing. Allison's magic sauce is in whatever business you do, the pelvic floor coaching business, whatever it is, the healthcare side of it, the wellness side of it. If you just sprinkle and keep sprinkling Allison's magic into that, you're creating Walt Disney's World, right? We all go to Walt Disney's World, and I trot off there every Saturday with the kids, same shit every week. But it's Walt's World, right? Like, we have to behave a certain way, we do a certain thing, we queue up for an hour. Like, we do, because he's created something that nobody else has done it. And I think that's the goal of building a business, and then eventually realizing that isn't just about your business. That story there is about your life, that you get to decide who comes into it, how they'll behave, that you won't tolerate bullshit, you won't tolerate their guilt being passed to you, what they lack being passed to you. So fucking go on, give it to some fucker else, because I ain't got time for it, and I'm not interested in it. Like, do you know what I mean? I ain't dealing with all of your shit. Now, if there is a genuine attempt to help me understand your situation, and we're going to get into a can you help me conversation versus a here, you have all my guilt and all my shit, like, I ain't taking that, because that's going to get in the way of me enjoying life, and nobody benefits from it anyway. So I think you're doing amazing, and you are amazing, and I think the story is definitely going to resonate with people. You're very, very, what's the word? How can I say this? There is 1,000 mothers right now listening to this, and fathers, who have been told that, or are led to believe, even worse, that they can't do things because their kids have come in, or they're being told that they have to make a choice between the business or the kids, or being a wife versus a business owner, or being a mother versus being a business owner. Millions of people have accepted that shit, and they believe it. And you have come along and you've gone, fuck that, wrecking ball to the whole thing. I'm going to go do it anyway. I'm going to be a great mother. I'm going to have a wonderful relationship. I'm going to build my business. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to learn. And I think I said this to you in 2018. What was it? Can you remember? What did I say to you on the stage? I'm going to say it to you again today.
I remember you saying, I don't know where you get your confidence from.
I said, everybody needs an Allison Feldt now.
Oh.
I've got that on video. And I said that to you in 2018, and I probably only met you for 6 months. Because you've got that energy, right? More and more people, you have to keep doing the brand thing. You have to put yourself on video. You have to tell your story. You have to share the trauma, the shit, the drama, because that's what other people are going through, and they need to see that actually it's all right if you keep pushing through and you do the right things. Yeah. This isn't just a happy clappy, oh, it'll be all right on the night. No. Like Allison's story is you go, you learn, you study, you invest, you commit, you fly from, how long's the flight? 7 hours to here today?
6 hours.
6 hours. 6 hours from Washington to Orlando. 3 hours jet lag, 3 kids at home. Candidly, we've got an event in Orlando in a few weeks, right? Some fuckers wouldn't even drive 15 minutes. They wouldn't, right? Yeah. And then they'll wonder why their life's still shit on Monday morning. Like, because they won't commit. And to leave you with that, we always realize that the bigger the commitment that somebody makes from a travel or a price point, the always more successful they are. If they're around the corner, they leave through the sessions, they go home at lunchtime, they don't come back. They say, I'm dabbling with it, I'm in, I'm out, but I'm not quite there. That's the story of their life. So you're doing amazing, and I really hope you continue the your own podcast and your own journey, your own story, your own brand building, because more and more people need to be inspired by what you're doing. Where can we find out more about you?
DrAllisonFeldt.com is my website, or BodyMotionPT.com, or check us out on Instagram, BodyMotionPT or Al Feldt.
Particularly if you are pelvic floor?
Yeah, if you're a pelvic floor PT, check me out on alfeldt.com.
You heard it here first. This is the lady that you need to follow, and is going to blow up completely the landscape for pelvic floor PT. And I don't give a fuck about the other pelvic floor PT and all the mafia and all that shit that goes on. This is the lady that you need to follow.
Thank you. DrAllisonFeldt.com.
Done. Thank you. Well done. All right. Another wonderful episode. We'll be back with another episode very soon. Please, if you like and subscribe to a video, you can head over to paulgough.com/free. Request your free copy of any one of my best-selling books, and we're happy to ship it to your office to help you grow a wildly successful business, get you out of the 9-to-5, and follow in the footsteps of Allison, and not just build a terrific business, but build a terrific life. Allison, thank you very much. Hey, this is Paul Gough. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking for even more, be sure to head over to Amazon, and you can find my 7 best-selling books for physical therapists in private practice. Head over to Amazon and find me now.